The extreme BPM, we do this Tuesdays and Fridays. So that is 8 p.m. East African time. Tuesdays and Fridays is when we get to talk to people that make the music. But Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. East African time is when we premiere most of the music, and that's on the eJazz Mix Show. So Tuesdays and Fridays, we get to sit down with some of the musicians you get to listen to during the week, and we get to talk about some of the projects we played on the show and even what they've worked on before, and you get to know them a little bit better. So today on the show, we've had her music on the show, but it's the first time we're having her on the Extreme BPM. Alexus Briá is on the show. Welcome to the show. How are you doing? Glad to have you on.
Thank you for having me. Yes. How are you? I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. And thank you so much for having me on the show. Thank you for supporting and playing the music. Very, very grateful for that.
Yeah, thank you. And if someone is listening in right now, how would you describe yourself to them?
Well, I am a small town girl. I am from Hopkins, South Carolina.
Shout
It's
out to
very, very
Cara.
small. But I am from South Carolina. I grew up singing in church most of my life. My mom has been pastoring all of my life. So grew up singing in church and kind of just ventured out and did my own thing, once I became 18. And yeah, I'm a mom.
Great.
I don't know exactly what to talk about, but yeah, that's pretty much my story. And I create art and I make music through based off of my experiences in life and just different trials and tribulations and things like that. So
Yeah,
that's me.
which is amazing. So you talked about your mom being a pastor, but then you are a musician. Where does this inspiration come from?
Well, my mom actually got accepted into Juilliard when she was very young, number one music school in the world. And so kind of growing up watching her have a musical background, and then going into gospel, watching her in the studio, being in the studio. I actually recorded my first song with her on her album when I was 10 years old. So the gospel song. But yeah, that's how I got started.
Yeah, I know I'll bring this around back since your first introduction was on a gospel song, and then we shall talk about the music you're making right now.
It's not gospel. It's no longer, it's not gospel.
Yeah. So, apart from your mom, what would you say were some of your influences, your biggest influences were getting into music?
Yeah, my grandfather, my mom, a lot of my family members, everybody in my family sings. When we get together, it's just about it's like a choir coming together and just singing. So just kind of watching and growing up in those roots and seeing my grandfather, he performed and he had a group that he was in. There was something called quartet gospel music. So I grew up watching him perform and go to different states and do different things, and a lot of people knowing his songs, as well as my mom grew up watching her sing and perform in different places. So I would say that they're my biggest inspirations to, making music, as well as my family members, everybody who, taught me how to sing or who had a hand in those things with me. I would say that those are my inspirations. For me, growing up, listening to people like Lauryn Hill, India.Arie, Beyonce, Brandy, people of those types of natures is what pretty much inspired me a lot more when it comes to my music, I would say.
Yeah, and then you talked about those. I think you took more on because I've listened to the projects, but you both sing and rap on them, which
So
is more like a
yeah,
Lauryn Hill thing.
yeah, absolutely more like a Lauryn Hill thing. Well, I actually been singing pretty much my whole life, but once I start because I'm a writer, I started rapping, just doing freestyles, and I got a lot of recognition from the freestyling and rapping, and so because of that, I ended up just making a few rap songs,
Yeah.
So I do have a project out there called Rapper by Day, Singer by Night, which is half of the songs are rapping and the other half is singing. And so yeah, kind of pretty much inspired that. Um, just to do both, to be versatile when it comes to singing and rapping. People like Queen Latifah, Missy Elliott, Lauryn
Yes.
Hill. So yeah, big influences.
Yeah, and before we get to the projects, you talked about the first project you were on. You were 10 years old, right?
Mhm.
And uh, and then what is the gap between then before you start putting out your own projects?
So just pretty much going out, and when I turned 18 is when I actually started making my own music because my mom wouldn't allow me to make the music that I was making in her house. So I had to go on and go out and create my own sound and my own music. And just kind of pretty much my cousins kind of we would get into the studio. They always had studio equipment because they were musicians in the church. And so we would always constantly have everything just kind of right there in front of us at our disposal. So we just started using it and capitalizing off of it. And it just became more than a hobby and it became more of a passion. So
And
just being in the studio.
yeah, so when you turned 18 is when you start making your own projects. So here's the interesting part, because when we were starting this, you said you usually write about your experience, your gospel,
Hmm.
right? So how then how did it turn out for you when you're, let's say, working on something and then you're sharing uh, something that is your experience, and given the background that you come from, how do you balance in between? Because people will hear, your family will hear the songs that you put out or projects that you put out, and not that there is anything against it, but how do you balance?
Oh Lord. I I don't let my mom hear my music. I don't let her hear a lot of my music. She if she hears it, she has to go and listen to it on her own, and I don't think that she's going to listen to it. So she doesn't necessarily mind my singing songs. She actually likes them and prefers them more because they're more talking about love and heartbreak, and those are just different things that all women go through in life, right? So she actually enjoys certain things, and there are certain things where I do want her approval just for her to listen to and say, hey, but I have to make sure that it's clean. It cannot be. A lot of my family did not support a lot of what I did in the beginning, just simply because of the background that they have. So, it was a lot of me making music as an outlet for myself and for my own experiences, to have a healthy habit, have a healthy outlet for me to, do something with my time that was just that was good for me, that felt more like a healing for me. So it's not necessarily for my family. It's definitely for me. I don't do it for the approval of them. Just like my mom doesn't seek the approval of people whenever she goes and preaches and ministers and opens up her church. I just want everybody to know that we have two separate lifestyles and two separate lives. Like that's her life and this is my life. And I respect her and I support her just as well as she supports and respects me as well. But definitely didn't have a lot of support, especially from my family. Sometimes I still don't get a lot of support from my family, not immediate family anyway, but I mean, my immediate family, yes. My other family, not so much. As the success continues, a lot of my family, my immediate family, my mom, my dad, they still support and they still, come to what they can and support how they can whenever they can. And so I'm just grateful and appreciative of that. But it hasn't always been that way. It took some time and some years and consistency for me to continue to keep doing it for me to get that. But I still don't have that approval from people. So, I don't seek the validation from those people. I just kind of focus on doing what heals me and heals my heart and what gets my voice heard. So.
Yeah, and for your parents, what do you think is that moment? Because I think it's kind of like all of us that are involved in something to do with entertainment. It's not really seen
Mhm.
as something that is a viable profession and all that. And it's like me. It's like up to this point, I'm not sure that there's approval of that, but it's been like 10
Mhm.
years now. So I don't know how long they'll keep holding on to that, but it's what for you, what were like some of those moments where probably something good happened with the music you're making, or a moment in your journey that probably you can say at that point they were proud of what you did or happy about what you did, or they were able to see what you've been trying to work on?
Well, they saw so much success over the years from me. They came to one of my first big concerts where I opened up for Lil Wayne, Tory Lanez, Cardi B, 2 Chainz. It was the one of the biggest arenas in my city, the actual biggest arena in my city. I actually was opening up for them at that time, and I won that competition just based off of me going out there to see how many people could come support me. And I have a lot of people that are behind me when it comes to supporting. So just that, my more recent show where I have one of the number one Billboard, the one Billboard, the guy who his name is 803 Fresh. Um, he came out to my show that I had. I just kind of been building the different momentums and different things like that. And so they are seeing the success as the years progress and they're seeing the growth, especially in the music and what I'm talking about, how everything is, changing. Because even though the songs that are on one of my albums, Rapper by Day, Singer by Night, those songs were songs that I was making over the years that compiled into an album. Those weren't recent songs, you know what I mean? Those are songs that I made when I was 18, 19 years old, when I was being able to talk about certain things. As of now, the EP, Diary of a Love Black Woman, is more recent. That's more of what I'm going through now. So my sound changing and everything like that, they've agreed with the shift and different things of that nature. So yeah, they've been very supportive as they see me progress. My acting actually has been doing a lot better than my music actually. Just meeting Oprah Winfrey and meeting Kevin Hart and being able to work on those projects with these different people on that major level, it's been, they've been very supportive and very very here for me and very present and seeing that what I'm doing is significant and how I continue to move is, being rewarded. So,
Yeah, yeah. You
yeah.
talked about one of the album. So rapper by day, singer by night.
Hmm.
Uh, what can you tell me what I know you said it was some singles that you had started putting out and you brought them all together onto the project, but as you're putting this out, uh, what were you trying to put across? I know there's a part where you're singing and there's a part when you're rapping where you're trying to bring these things together for you, but as a project that you're putting out, what were you trying to say? Or what were you showing
Well,
someone listening into the project?
that the rapper by day, singer by night is exact. It's kind of like the title is self-explanatory. Where, during the daytime, when it's sun out or whatever, I like to rap and have a good time and show you a different side of me versus the nighttime where you could see you mostly see singers out there singing songs in different spots and different places like that. And so it kind of resonated with me as going to do different shows and meeting up with different people and networking and different things of that nature. During the day I'm able to rap and tell a story, and then at night I'm able to sing and tell a different story. So for this particular album, over time, I was making music that sounded more like a story. And so once I put it all together and once I took a time when I was 21, I took a time when I was 18, took a time when I was 19, I took a time, from those years of me trying to figure it out, a sound and realizing that I have already created a sound. It's just not the sound that is everybody else's forte of a sound. And so it's just uniquely my own sound. It's nobody else's sound. And so being able to tell a story as well as see and hear the growth in my music, in the art, and as a person, those songs kind of went through and told that story of me growing from here and being a rapper, being a wild girl, and having a good time to me slowing down and falling in love to me, wanting to talk about my life problems and just different aspects of my life that kind of happened during that time. So just learning, growing, and developing. I think that that album from start to finish is you'll be able to hear not only the growth in the person, but the growth in the music and the songs in the order that they're in, because each song was recorded differently at a different time, and it also got better as it progressed.
And I like how you started it because you started off with My Way and you flipped the
Mm-hmm.
the Asher song, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, my way just kind of was me telling things that I'm just doing. I'm telling everyone that I'm doing this my way. This is if I had it my way, I would be living this life. I would have this going on. I'll be in LA. I'll be doing shows. I will be doing all this. And then it goes to me talking about, losing my auntie during that process, somebody who supported my music. It talked about me being able to be on these shows and saying that, I'm losing friends. And it's just so many different narratives of stories within the album itself that you're able to listen to and just hear the story.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you talked about that journey, and then the next song of it is Sneaky Link. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I if I had it my way, I'd definitely be in doing shows, but because I'm not having life my way, I wish it was my way. I'm talking about, hey, I met a guy, I was able to connect with him, and this is what it was. And so then it goes to something totally different. It just kind of flip-flops and goes all over the place and just tells a story about a girl who wishes that she was able to live this extravagant life and who has these dreams of being this artist and this person, and then actually having to go through real life scenarios, and then sometimes putting myself in those situations of not being able to have love, because this where it started off as a sneaky leak, then it went into like I can't leave him alone, or I gotta leave him alone because now I'm in love with him, but it's challenging my peace and it's challenging who I am. And so now you're able to hear the sensual parts of me being able to break down and talk about love and lost. And but it started off as a sneaky link. You're never supposed to fall in love with your sneaky link. So there's so many different stories that you could hear and relate to.
And we shall jump quickly to Pray for Me. So
Yeah.
so but before Pray for Me is alone. So I want, because I listen to it the way it is sequenced. So and I
Mhm.
usually like listening to albums like that. But
Mhm.
so when we get to Pray for Me, because I was looking at it, I'm like, sometimes I'm someone who like takes interest in titles, even when I'm making like
Mhm.
a show and I'm making a mix show. Sometimes I'm like, there are shows where I've done a show and it's like a sentence from the start to end, and it's like the songs that I'm
Yeah.
playing, it's like a story just on the track list. But
Wow.
yeah, and so with this, so I usually take interest in songs in playlist and track list, sorry, for the album. So I saw Alone and then Pray for Me, but then we started off with My Way, then Sneak Link and all that. So talk to me about Pray for Me. What place were you in then?
Well, um, after, during Pray for Me is more of something a little bit more recent that I did. And I kind of debated whether I was gonna put this on the EP or the album, because it was a song that I did a little bit more recently, but it wasn't a song, it was just a single. And it was just a song that I basically was saying that, how I was in love in this moment, and then in the alone song, I'm talking about just leave me alone. I don't want to be, in this toxic relationship. I don't want you to be worrying about you worried about money, and you worried about women, and you worried about the appearance of things, and I'm worried about loving you. And so then it skips to Pray for Me, and it tells a story on how, we weren't nothing serious, and it wasn't a situation where, it started off as us just being friends and just doing whatever we wanted to do and figuring it out, or the sneaky link situation. It kind of started off in that area, and then as I talk about you not being mine and me not being yours, and us not having a real title or a real relationship, and now how my feelings have changed for this person. Like, I was so confused when I was in love with you, because I didn't, number one, I didn't mean to fall in love with you. This was just supposed to be a sneaky link situation. And then it goes to me actually having these deep feelings for you, but because it's not, it's because it's a toxic situation, I want you to leave me alone. So now I want to be alone. And then it goes to me thinking about all of the things that happened during that relationship and how I miss this person and how I miss the love that they have for me. And so praying for me is like, dang, I'm so undecided when it comes to this love. Like, I'm just pray for me, because I need some prayer, because I need some help. But at the same time, like, this was all just a mess, and I know that I'm not crazy, but I still wish you the best. I still love you, and I still, hope that you find a love that you can actually heal from and have, that's better for you, that doesn't treat you how I'm treating you, or being indecisive, or going back and forth between it. So yeah, it's just that. Pray for me.
Yeah, I think if you're listening in right now, you need to check out the album. The album is Rapper by Day, Singer by Night, and it's coming in from Alexus Briá. So go check that out. It's available. That's the 20. It was put out in 2024. That's last year. So this year you have an EP,
Mm-hmm. An
right?
EP. Yes.
Diary of a
Diary
Love
of a
Black.
Love Black Woman. Yeah.
Yes. So I
Yeah.
I like I like the music though. I like that there was even growth also even with the music, even with the production and the quality of the production from that to the Diary of a Loved Black Woman, the EP, and even uh, the rapping too. I like, and I like also the fact that you are still, picking from uh, samples that of songs
Yeah,
that,
samples.
but then you kind
Yeah.
of like you make it your own. You don't you're not
Mhm.
like literally, when you hear a sample and you're like, oh, it's just like listening to the original and something, but for the way you flip it, it kind of like
Mhm.
it gives a new interpretation to the to the old
To the
song.
song. Yeah.
Yes. So talk to me about this EP, and first the title. What does that mean to you?
Mm. Well, Diary of a Love Black Woman means to me this is the diary for me and so many women, and sometimes not even just Black women, but because I am a Black woman, I'm speaking on my perspective of being a Black woman and being love and being in love. And so it stemmed from just that. During the time I actually got a call that I would be filming on a Tyler Perry movie set as well. And being able to watch that movie, or being able to know the story of the Diary of a Love Black Woman, the actual show or the movie, I was able to pull from those feelings of it being in my diary. So these are things that in a diary you don't normally say or talk about out loud to anybody. It's something that you kind of keep to yourself and not really push to people. Like, us as women, we talk about being so strong and being so independent and not needing anybody and not wanting anybody. But then when we finally do find somebody and it's a healthy love for us and it's so different from all the other love that you experience, now you're questioning, or those types of love teaches you lessons. And so in this album, I talk about the lessons that I learned in love, and how being vulnerable when it comes to not wanting someone to leave because you didn't get it right the first time, or, actually it being your fault as to not being able to heal. Sometimes as women we don't feel like we need to heal before we get into another relationship, but it's absolutely valuable and evident that you have to heal and love yourself in order to love somebody else. And so in this album alone is definitely speaking from a perspective now where I've been in love and I love this person so much, but I wasn't able to give them the best version of me or the best love that I have, because I just wasn't healed enough to love this person. So now it's like, get yourself together or I'm leaving. And I'm not coming back, because you know when you find somebody who loves you and understands you and is able to see your perspective and doesn't judge you and just helps you heal through different things, you try to kind of push it off like that's not important. But once you realize that that type of love doesn't find you very often, you start to reminisce and think about those times, and remember the relationships, the conversations, the intimacy, just everything that happened during the time of you loving this person, and how different it was, and how you are a different person because of this love, how you actually change, how it changes your perception and your perception of love. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like it's a diary because I'm holding it close to me, and I'm talking about things that I normally wouldn't admit to nobody else.
That's why you started
So
with
yeah.
where you at.
Yeah. So where you at is definitely the song of me trying to figure out, like, where did you go? What happened with us? You know?
Oh, wait, it kind of like flipped you up.
Uh-oh. Hold on one second. Oh Lord. I don't know how to Now, how do I do this?
It's like you flip it back and then auto rotate, something like that.
Rotate. Hmm.
So you
I don't see it.
no when you auto rotate when in your camera in your phone, you just set it and make it auto rotate and then
Oh, okay. Let me do
yeah.
that. Okay.
Yeah,
Is that
perfect.
okay? Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're talking about where you are. Yeah.
Yeah, so where you at? Is me. Okay, so the sample that I used in this song was um it's a song by Janet Jackson
Yes.
called what's the name of the song? I can't think of the name of the song. Till It's Gone. The
Till it's
name of the
gone. Yeah.
song by Janet Jackson. Janet Jackson is called Till It's Gone. And in the song, Janet Jackson, of course, is talking about you don't know what you got till it's gone. And so in this song, I'm talking about like, where did you go? Like, I realized what I had and now I know it's gone. I know it's too late, but come back to me. Come back to me. Don't leave me out here like this. Like, oh my God, I'm lovesick. And it's like, I miss you. Why you want to leave me? I know I messed up, but give me another chance. So yes, that is what where you at is about. Just trying to find you. And it's also, a metaphor for like where did you go in a time where like I'm ready to love you? You know what I mean? Like why did you leave in this moment? And then me also realizing like, hey, this moment is no longer here. Like this person is gone and they're long gone. They're not coming back. And you can't blame anybody but yourself for this, but still being selfish and wanting that love and missing that love and realizing that that love was the type of love that changes your soul and that helps you grow as a person. When you realize that, it's kind of like, dang, like where you at when I need you the most? Like where you at now? Like are you still around? Can I still talk to you? Like do I still have a friend in you or whatever the case is? I just want to know where you at right now. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and and with the because we the first project that is out, guys, that you need to check out is uh Rapper by Day and then Singer by Night. But this one is there of a Love Black Woman. So if you start off the EP with all these thoughts of realizing what you had and you want someone back, but then the EP is supposed to talk about how you are loved and how you have experienced what love is and you are in this place where you are loved. How do you drive from where you are to the position where you are in now, which says that I'm loved now?
Well, it's more of a outlook on the love that I have. You know what I mean? So it's more of me being or my the type of love that I experience is more so talking about that. So when I say where you at, then it goes to I think it goes to addicted. No, it goes to something else. I
No, it
know it's
goes
like where you at?
moving on,
Let me
goes
look.
moving on.
Moving on, moving
Yeah.
on. Okay, so where you at is like me knowing that the relationship is gone, and then me trying to move on from the relationship, and then me realizing that this is an addictive type of love and that even though it started off rocky or it started off how it started off, it ended up being something beautiful, but it was so many different things that was in our way to stop us and people not wanting us to be together, just different situations. And then now there's an ultimatum of like, you get yourself together or I'm leaving. And it's like, well, I'm not the problem, so you can leave. There's an ultimatum in there where it's like, this love is real and I haven't had any type of love like this, but I'm not about to admit that I'm the problem because then you're going to be winning in this situation. But realizing that love is not about winning or losing, It helps you. It makes you realize, like, dang, like maybe I'm the issue in this situation, and then it goes on because being loved is so many different forms of being loved. Because the EP ends with me talking about "Would You,"
Would you? Yeah.
which was yeah, which was originally an Afrobeat song that I put out there, and it was my interpretation of what Afro beats would be. I am American, of course. I don't necessarily know the African culture, but I did go to the Grammys the year 2024 and they opened up a category for Afro beats. And
Yeah.
I think that in Black culture and in Black music, it is so important to adapt to certain sounds and, try our best to not even mimic, but be a part of a sound, because as for Black people, I feel like that was a huge win. And it's not just for African people, even though it is particularly Afro beats and it
Afro
is
beats. Yeah.
particularly for African people or Afrocentric people. I think that as an African American, I think it's important to tap into those roots and those cultures because we all are from Africa. We just haven't been able to be there. So I think that we all are from the motherland, and I think that we all originate as Afro people. So I think that it was important for me to get that out there. But the song is actually talking about, being held and being loved, and why are you treating me this way? Why did you turn so cold? And you know, from that to a whole nother level of like where in the middle of this I start losing friends because I'm not making the best decisions. So it's like I'm talking about the loyalty that you have to have when it comes to loving your friends or being able to. So the love doesn't just transpire and talk about being loved or being in a position of having that particular type of love, but it's love on all playing fields. When you talk about being in friendships and having love for your friends, and having love for your family, and then having love for a person, and being right or being wrong, it goes and it has so many different versions of love in each song. You're able to hear it, the breakdown of it.
Absolutely. The EP is called Diary of a Loved Black Woman, coming in from Alexus Briá. The album that was out before then, that you can also listen to, is Rapper by Day and Singer by Night. So, as we wrap up, how can people connect with you, and what song are we playing off the EP to wrap up the show?
You can connect with me and follow me on all social media platforms at Alexus Briá. That is ALEXUSBRIA on all platforms. If you're on Instagram, it's an underscore in between Alexis and Bria. I'm on everything, and it's the same exact thing. If you want to check out my website, it is alexusbria.com. ALEXUSBRIA. I'm out there. You can always book Alexis Bria at Gmail. You can contact me in any way as long as you put in Alexis Bria. I'm out there.
Yeah,
Um, to wrap up the show, I actually am curious to hear about what is your favorite song and which album is your favorite, or which, project or body is your favorite
I
project.
I I think with a Rapper by Day, Singer by Night,
Hmm.
uh, I more when I was listening to it this week, it's more like enjoy listening to the singing and the rapping and how you put that together. Now, Dare of a Loved Black Woman, I like, first of all, where you are.
Hmm.
I did repeat that, I think, like probably a couple of times, and because I liked how what you did with the sample, and so I think if I'm to pick off, I enjoyed more Dare of a Loved Black Woman, but I like the some songs of Rapper by Day then Singer by Night album, but I think also it's also revisionist bias because it's the last one that I listened to at the end, so
Hmm.
it still will take me a couple of more listens to pick out what I really enjoy the most.
What you
But
like the most?
so we are playing Where You Are of the EP,
Yeah.
and something we didn't talk about earlier on that maybe you can talk about as we are getting to wrap up is your actress side. How is that going for you, and what are some of the projects that you've worked on, and maybe if you have any of those that are in the pipeline, can you talk to us about that?
Yes, I actually worked on the Color Purple musical that dropped back on Christmas of 2023. I understudied for Fantasia as well as Danielle Brooks. So the roles of Sophia and the role of Celie. I understudied for those roles on that show, and I also was a background extra actress on that. Um, I also did Fight Night, The Million Dollar Heist, Kevin Hart, Samuel L. Jackson, Taraji P. Henson, um, many more celebrities. It's a star-studded film, but it's out on Peacock right now. Um, it's called Fight Night, The Million Dollar Heist. So that was pretty dope. Chloe Bailey. It was a lot of different stars in that show. I also did some work on Tyler Perry Studios, on Sisters, another pilot that I worked on with Tyler Perry. I did BMF, season 2 and season 4. And currently in the works, I'm working on 2 more projects that I can't really speak too much about, but I definitely am. I have way more lines and acted. Like you're gonna actually see me speaking and doing different things in those films that are coming out next. So that's what I'm currently working on now.
So
But that has been going really well, actually. Probably even better than the music, honestly.
yeah, uh, we still have the music on the show, so that part. No, but that's amazing.
Thank
That's
you.
good. That's good with yeah, seeing that even the acting side is going well for you, and you've been able to appear in all these projects. I know, you know, the goal is to get into much more dominant roles and where you're able to showcase what you can do and some of those things. But you know.
Yeah. They're definitely one of the most recent films actually been the one that I just did this past weekend. They're actually going to put 3 of my songs into the actual film. And so that's what's been happening a lot lately. 3 different films picked up one of my songs on Diary of a Love Black Woman, actually, the song Ultimatum. So yeah, I think that that was definitely major, definitely huge. It's very, very good exposure and experience. So things have been definitely, circling back to the music for sure and going pretty well.
Yeah, amazing. So as far as the music goes, this year the EP is What Is Out, There of a Loved Black Woman, and uh, the acting part. You have projects that are coming out. Probably they'll come out the next year, probably, right?
Hmm. Yes, the next year, 2026.
Yeah. So for now, what you can enjoy is the album that is out, Rapper by Day, Singer by Night, and then the EP, There of a Loved Black Woman, coming in from Alexus Briá, and also the projects that she's talked about, Fight Night and
Color
uh,
Purple.
Gala Papo, yes. That was the musical, right?
That was the musical, yes. Hmm.
Yeah. And then you did some work with the sisters.
Sisters. That hasn't come out just yet, but it's on the way out soon. So it's the newer season, it's the past season that I just filmed. So and it was more recently like May and June. That's when I did some filming with them. So it's gonna probably come out next year as well.
Oh, amazing. And then you've done work on BMF and so
Yeah, yep. Did a little
yeah,
work on both of those. So yeah. Hmm.
that's amazing. Ascendancy, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, but thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been amazing, great having you on, and glad we are able to how to do this and have you on. Thank you so much. Wish you the best. We will when there are
Thank
new
you.
projects. You're always welcome on the show. We can organize and do that.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I appreciate all your love. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart for you playing the music all the way over in Africa. Man, it means so much to me. So thank you for having me on. Thank you for rocking with me. And thank you for listening to my music.